Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing good at your end. In this particular series, I am explaining about the Oracle SCM Advanced Control, and on this particular today's sessions, we are going to cover the models and the control. What are the models are there? How we can create the models? How we can modify the models? How we can able to import the models? So I will going to show you the complete life cycle of these models, which is a very important component in SCM Advanced Control. I had published two or three videos. So before going through this particular lecture, I will request to go through these prior video that will give you an idea that about the concept of the SCM advanced control. It will even help you to understand how I can enable these advanced control in my application. What are the rules and privileges are required to implement this particular module. So in this particular topic, I am going to cover about the models. What are the different types of models are there? How we can able to create these models? What are the standard models are there? What are the custom models are there? Then we will understand about the entitlements. That what are the entitlements are there? What are the access conditions are there? And then we will take an overview of the global conditions. Now, before we jump into the definition, just understand the basic concepts like why we require these models. Okay, so ultimate goal of creating these models is to find out the segregation of duties. Correct. Why we require the segregation of duties? Assuming that I am a payroll user and I am running a payroll. In some organization, what happen is that whoever is a payroll manager, they should not have an access for creating an employee. They should not have access for creating an employee. Another use case is suppose if I am a HR admin, if I am an HR admin, and if I am hiring an employee, then the person who is doing an hiring should not have access for creating the user in an application. It happens like sometime what happens, the consultant or the whoever are implementing it, when they create their own custom rule, when they create the custom rule from security console. I have showcased this how we can create a rule in one of these topic itself, that if I want to create a custom rule, what the privilege is required. So if I suppose if I created this XX, some HR admin role is there, and we inherited something from the standard roles. So what happened is that sometimes we mistakenly or without the knowledge that what all rules or privileges, what type of things they can do, I create a rule. And in this type of rule, if something is having like as I mentioned it, that if an HR admin is there, the purpose and the duties of this particular rule is just to hire an employee, That's all, and enter the personal employment and assignment related information are there, but they should not have the privilege or the rule for privilege. I will say rule can be created different for creating a user. So what will happen is that if we are having access to both of these privileges, anyone can go and create a ghost employee, and that is a more worry. Whenever you see the auditors, when they are coming it, they normally see, can you show how you are creating it, provide some evidences. So that is completely a manual task. There is no some automated process are there from where we can able to identify it. With the help of this particular module, there are different ways we can able to identify the conflicts of duties. We can find out that which roles, even which users are having those privileges or those roles, and system will help us to give us a visualization of these particular rules, how that particular privileges get and attached to that particular role, and how that employee got an access for these type of conflicts role. So we will learn complete about it. Standard and models are the library which is provided by the Oracle, and with the each upgrade they provide us. And then custom models, like if we want to create our own logic, own custom segregation of duty logic, then we can able to create. So this is I will going to explain in detail that how we can able to do it. Now before going and understanding on the model part, some concept we have to understand that what is an access entitlement. See, access entitlement is a set of access point. Now, what is access point? So, this is a group of or the set of access points. Access point is nothing. Privileges or the roles which is available, or particularly privileges available in the system, so that we are calling as an access point. And the combination of these access point and the combination of these access point or the set of these access point, we define them as a entitlement. So when we are defining a model or any standard models must at least contain these typical conditions, two or more than two conditions, then we can able to create them. We have to create even the filter that how we can able to define it, and for creating it we required to create a condition, access condition. A global is separate. I will show you how we can able to create a global condition, but for defining these models we need to define and understand the access condition. Now what are the access conditions? So there are the set of predefined values or attributes are available in an application which we can use it. Say for example, I want to create a model only for one particular legal employer, or I can say only for one particular business unit. So I can write that particular condition while defining our model. So we will go and learn it. So before I come and define what are the standard, let us understand where all we can see these models, what are the navigational required. So I will log into the application and show it to you where these models are available, how we can able to access them, if we want to import, how we can import them, and some other basic functionality also of this particular access model or the model part. So here I had come to my application. I will log in with my user risk manager. This is I had shown you how we can able to create this user, what all rules and privileges are required. If you had not seen my previous video on this particular topic, I request you please go through them. Link is already available in the description box, so you can refer those videos. I will log in as a risk manager in application. So once I log in, I will land it to the home page of my application. So this is loading it. So this is my homepage of my application. I logged in as a risk manager, and I had given only the privileges which is required to enable this advanced SCM control. So under the user, I will be having a tab called risk management, and under risk management, I will be having a different functions. In one of the previous chapter, I had explained about the setup and administration part, what all functionalities are available under setup and administration. Today, our focus will be on the advanced controls tool for SCM. So to enable the models or to access the models or controls basically is for the financials reporting purpose. If we want to define any financial reporting to check the fraud or any transaction which is happening, so control we going to use for the financials, and models we are normally use for the HR module. So let's create or click on the advanced control. So this is my landing page. This is a placeholder or the work set which I'm going to use to identify and create the model. On the top, you will see the monitor jobs. What are the processes which I have submitted it? I can directly go and monitor it from here. And on the left hand side, you are finding a different tabs are there. So this particular icon will give me the controls. The controls mainly for finance. I have a controls available. Maybe in the end of the class, I will show you how we can able to create this control or how we can able to import or deploy these controls. And these are the models. So if I go and click on these particular models, so these are my models available. And the models normally what happen now, this is a purely a complete new environment. So I will going to configure it for you so that from the scratch you understand how we can able to use them, how it is, what are the things are enable it. I will show you. I have another in another environment. I will show you that how it looks like and different navigation part. Then other tab on this particular models is about the provisions rules. We know that if we want to enable or we want to run any of that provisions rule, we can directly go and create from here. So these are the three major functionalities which available as a part of my model. So this is the processes that auto generate rules which we have defined it, and what are the managed rules are there. We can define it in this particular environment. If we see for HR, there are around 3,846 rules are there which is generate. What are rules? The different permutation and combination which is got created with the privileges or the conflicts or the segregation duty that we are going to identify for this particular control. So we will go through it. We will create our own models. Then we can able to identify that from where it is coming and how we can able to validate it. So let's go to the model. Our main focus will be the model. Under this, when you click on this particular action, you will find I will be having an access to go and create the models. I have access entitlements, access global condition, and user defined points. So these three, like create an access model, I will show at later stage. Access global conditions, we will cover it at the later stage, that how we can go and create the global condition, and the user defined access point. These 3 points I am going to cover at the later stage, because first of all we should learn about the standard one, so that we can get an idea what are the standard models are available, and then we are going to create our own access model. So first we will cover the standard one, and then we will go and check on the how we can able to create our custom one. And then there is a synchronization process is there. I mentioned in the previous class that why it is important, why we need to run the synchronization process. The ultimate goal is that the auditors or the risk manager or the system administrator should have an access to view the data or the dashboards available. So if we are not running this particular process, we will not able to identify what are the different data models are available and what are the conflicts. So this is an important portion, that whenever we are modifying or creating a new models, regularly we come and synchronize the result, so that it is going to be available as a part of my OTPI reports. When we are creating a reports, all these models will be available in there. Import is one of the standard functionality. We will start from the import, how we can go and import our existing models which is available in the application, and export. If I have created a models in my lower instance in the test or development environment, and I want to export it to the higher environment, so instead of creating from the scratch, I can use this particular functionality. Now before coming on this particular models, a prerequisite is that we should have a global user configuration. Previous class I had in the one of the video, I had shown how we can able to create a global user configuration. I had given the link in the description, please go through it. It will give you the complete idea what are the global user configurations are there. And always remember, when we are changing any attribute in my global user configuration, the model and the model result will get wiped off. So we have to take a decision when we are defining at our global user configuration what all attributes are required. Those who doesn't understand that what are the global attributes are there, I request go to the previous classes, so you will get to know. Now let me show you in one of the environment how and what are the different models are look like. So this is how the models going to be get appear. We are going to create it in this. These are the standard models, and these are the few custom which I have created it to use it. So there are different models are available, and we can able to modify them. So once we import and create these models, we can able to find out that how many conflicts privileges are there. We can go. We will go each one. We will create our own model, and we'll see the results. So this is an end outcome. So when we create the models, when we run these particular models, how it is going to be get appear. So this is the end results that we are going to see, and how we want to create it, that we are going to learn. So let's understand the some more basic concepts about the model part. Then I will show you how to import these models. So in the application, we had seen the different functionalities. What are the functionalities available when we are navigating into the model? Now, before we go and import the standard models or create our own custom model, let us understand few basic concepts, that what all we have to deal with it. First of all, we have to deal with this access condition. Second, about the entitlement. And third, about the access point. So when we are deal with model, these are the three things that we have to do. Ultimate goal is that our ultimate goal is that we need to identify if there any roles or say any users. We are talking about the user because role are getting attached to the users. Is there any users who are having a role which give me the privilege for doing the multiple things? Now, multiple things, let us consider one use case of this. Say for example, there is an employee there is an employee who is a payroll admin, Now, his job or his duty in an organization as a part of the process is to run the payroll only, and they are not supposed to create an employee. So this is my condition. This is my process which I had defined it. And at the same time, if there is any HR admin is there, and HR admin should not have access to create a user in an application. Why? Because there are the chances where I am putting my organization data into the risk in multiple way. One of the most common when auditors do the system audit, what they try to identify the number of employees which are there in the system are intact with the headcount available in an organization. It means that there should not be any additional employees get created in an application. So how they can identify? Definitely it is a difficult task. If person is a whole soul in charge of payroll, if it is a whole soul in charge of HR, if it is a whole soul in charge of creating a user, and this is all about from the application point of view. So how we can able to create or identify within an application is this process, or if I'm giving an access to the employee is foolproof and it does not have any additional privileges where it get conflicts with my role. Conflicts in the sense that I should have a clear bifurcation of my duties. So the whole ultimate goal of creating these models is segregation of duties, correct? So we will understand on these three parts. Other second important portion that we are going to learn is about the logics, that how we can able to create the logic. So for creating a custom model or even for running the existing models, we should understand what are the different logics are available. Say for example, I had given one example of the payroll and the employee. Say for example, if employee or the user is having a privilege for entering my overtime, correct? So if I'm managing the time and attendance module, or if I'm maintaining the time and attendance access control, so there are the chances that I can go and create my different values. So for example, if person is having an access to time and labor module, okay, at the same time he is having an access to the payroll module, then we should able to identify that these are the users who are having an access. Now the question will come, these are the normal scenarios, because organization will not going to hire a different time and labor admin and payroll admin. In the team itself they are going to manage it, and we need to provide these two roles. Yes, we can do that. But in this scenario, when we are creating a role, we should be very much careful that when we create a role, there should not be a privileges of time and labor, and there should not be a privileges of payroll altogether attached to one particular role. The best practice is that we normally go and create two different roles which manage the time and labor and which manage the payroll. Then the question will come, if I'm attaching these two roles to the user, again they can able to do it. Yes, they can do it, but we need to certify them. This is what we will going to learn in one of the topic, how we can assign a certification to these employees and these two roles. So this is again another topic we are going to cover. So second point that we are going to learn about the model logics, how we can able to create it, what all conditions are required, and if we are not, and if we are giving those conditions, how we can able to find out the results. Third point is that running these model objects. So I have created a model which is need to identify employee and the payroll. Now I want to see who all roles or who all employees are having an issue. So for identifying this, we have to run these particular models. So when we run these particular models in the application, I had shown you that create employee and create payroll. We see there are 513 or 210 or something numbers was coming on the right hand side. Those numbers will appear when I run these model objects. That these are the conflicts privileges, or the not the users privileges, these transactions in this identifying on the privileges part. So one user may appear multiple time, and then it will be having a role. Under that role, what all privileges which are going and giving me the conflicts access. Once we run these models, then we will identify the issues. So when we have run these models in an application, we can easily able to identify these are the areas which are need to be get corrected, or we need to be get certified that yes, this is fine as per our company policy and we need to follow it. So what we will do now, we will log into the application and start importing the standard model. What are the standard models are there? And then I will explain it to you that what is the functionality of each model. Now, what we will do, we will log into the application with our same user, risk manager. I am signing in with the risk manager. So I signed as a risk manager. Under the risk management, we have to go to advanced control. Under this advanced control, we having a models. So we now what we will do, we will work with the standard model, how we can go and import the standard models. So we click on the action and then there is a function called import. Once we click on the import, these are the standard models for modules wise available. So if we can see, there are the models available for common setup library, for supply chain management, for enterprise resource planning library. There are 138 models are there. And for human capital, there are 42 models are available. Now these models are standard as of now. So current version of application is 22D. So till now, Oracle has published 42 models. In future, they may increase this model as well. So this is coming from the Oracle as a standard functionality. Let's see what all models are available. So these are the models which are available. So if we want to find out the segregation duty between employee and the payroll, manage employee and the managed payrolls, we are going to import this particular model. If we are looking at a person who is managing employee and managing a compensation, how we can able to monitor it, this is available. And we will be having a person and a manage payroll. There are different ways are there, that this is I am managing an employee part and this I am managing a person. More important, creating a users and the payroll. And definitely there are different models are there which we can go and explore it. So in this particular example, what we will do, we will just choose 2 3 models how we can able to work it. There is a privileges on the sensitive payroll data is also there. If we want, we can identify through that as well. If there is payroll personal data, we can able to identify that, and recruitment personal data. So these are the different standard models are available, and with the time to time Oracle is introducing these models. In addition to that, what we can do, we can create our own models as well. I will show you how we can create our own custom model. So first let us see and work with these standard models. So I'll click on the next. Before importing it, what we have to do, we have to validate them. So when I click on the validation, and this will identify if similar type of models are already available or do you want to remove it, so that we can validate using this particular process. We have to validate these models that we are importing it. So we did not find any of the duplicate. Otherwise, what happened is that once we validate it, system will display. I will show you one example. I will import the same model again, and it will give me a violation that is already imported in an application. So no need to create it again. Let me go next. Yeah, so these are the selected models which I am importing. So manage employee and payroll, manage employee and compensation, manage person and payroll, create users and manage payroll, sensitive payroll privileges, payroll personal data, and recruitment personal data. Now I will submit it. Once I submitted it, my job is already get submitted. I'll go and monitor the job. Yeah. So this is get queued and it will take some time to start this process. This is started. Sometime what happens that due to the performance of an application, these model import take some time. So in my one of the class I had mentioned it that from setup and administrator we have to increase the number of processes based on the total number of headcount what we are having it or the privileges that we have created it, so that this process should not get stopped. So that particular setup is required in second or third lecture I had given it. So please visit those earlier videos as well for getting the clarity how we can able to increase or decrease the process parameters. Let this process get completed. So as you can see, my process is get completed 100%, and now it is get completed. I will go back to my model definition. See now under this models, we I find the standard models are available. See, if you can see, you can find out these models are available. The details we will go and see in meanwhile. So what it says that the status is showing as not started. That means we had not yet started the process for seeing the result. State is approved. That means it is status is active and approved and created by the user which I have logged in, and the time system time at what time I have created it. Perspective is 0. I will show you that what is the meaning of perspective, and we can attach the perspective to these models, and this is the one of the model. Okay. Once we run these models, we can able to find the results. So this is another functionality I'll show you. Now let us see the duplication, how we can able to resolve the duplicate models if it is get created. Again, I will go and import this 4051 model from the HCM advanced control 4051. I am importing it again. See, when I import it, this is give me that this model is already available. Do you want to rename it or what? So if you want to use this same model, we can use it or we can discard it. So suppose for example, if you want to make a copy and want to check it for different perspective, yes, we can do it. Different model we can create it for different perspective as well. So I'll give you the example of perspective, then I will show you. So I will create this. For simple, I just rename it. I will just prefix the name, whatever the name I want to give it. 44051, I prefix it. So now system will allow me for creating this particular model. So I will give the name and then click on the validate. Once I validate it, system will allow me to import this particular model as well. So I'll submit this. Again, it will go to the process, how it's going to be get process. So I'll click on the monitor job. So my processes get submitted, and after 2-3 minutes it will be get started and then completed. So we had seen how these processes are already getting imported and completed. Now let's go and back into the application. Now there is an option where we can able to import from external source as well. Okay, if we want to import it from the external source as well, we can do that. How? Click on the import it from the file. So I will show you how you can able to import it from the file. If you already have a model available from any other environment, you can import it. So I'll show you how we can import. I have already file one available. I'll click on this choose file, and from this choose file, I have advanced control models available. So what I will do, I am going to import this particular model. Yeah. So this is I have updated. Right. So this is a model which I had created. I am going to import it 50021 model which I already created it, and I will validate. There is no duplication is available. So next, and then submit. So this is another model which I have created in some other environment, so which I imported from there. So these are all my models which I have created and imported in from the application. So whatever the processes I had submitted it is going to be get. So this one is also get completed. One more one there. Let us see 4051. Yeah, this one 44051 and 4051. This one and this one. This is a duplicate one. So these are the models. This is how we can do the import of the models. And now let us see how we can able to work out with these models. So let us click on this manage employee and payroll. Click on this particular edit button. We want to modify it, or we want to see the definition what is available. We can click on the definition. Click on the particular model that you want to work out. Yeah, so this is my model. This is the setting of my model. So if we can go and come down, this is internally. So this is our definition or the model logic. So if we, I will explain this page particularly. So on the top, and as this is a standard model, it is now we cannot able to rename it at this point in time. While importing only, we can able to rename it. It is having only the access entitlement. It does not contain any other condition. It comes with only with the access entitlement. And below you will find the logic of it, that what the logic is written for this particular model. So when I click on more details, it will allow me to give the different definition of this particular model. So if you can see for this particular managed employee, this is access entitlement and the entitlement name is equal to manage employee. Okay, so what does it mean is that this manage employee definition or this particular model give me the privileges or the roles which allow me to manage the employee. So this is the one model. Second, in the same definition, we are having a managed payroll, which means that entitlement. Entitlement, what I had explained it, that entitlement is a group of privileges. Then what all privileges are there that allow me to manage the payroll? So what in this particular definition, we have two access points are there. Identify whether this allow me to manage the employees, and when we click on this access point we will find that what are the access point or the privileges this particular function will having it. So rehire employee, hire employee, manage work term assignment or mass update of the work area. So if any of this access point is attached to any role, this model will pull out. This model will pull out. In addition to it, if any of the role is having an access to this access point of relationship, calculate quick pay, calculate payroll, retry payroll processes, or recalculation of retroactive changes. So this model will pull out that particular result. So this is the definition how we can able to create it. I will show you how we can create the custom model as well. So to identify that how if what are the roles or privileges are having the conflicts, or if we want to see it which role need to be get modified, we just simply has to run this model. I had never run this model in the past in this environment. So filter and existing results are coming as a blank. Filter is coming blank because this is standard model. We cannot able to modify it. But yes, when we creating our own model, we can add multiple filters. We can add one more filter if required. So we can have one or two or three access point definition in the same model logic. So model logic is nothing. Model logic is a set of privileges or the set of entitlement or set of access point which I want to pull it out for managing the employees and managing the payroll. So now the important part is that to identify it, we have to run this particular model. So to running this particular model, what I will do, I will submit this particular. Apart from that, there is a security assignments are there that for which all group of which all employees are having in an organization access to this particular model that we can able to create it. As of now, this is assigned to only this one particular users, which is a risk manager. We can create a group of assignments. It means I am in an organization, say for example, this person having a team of 2 or 3 people and they want to validate this or they want to view the result. So we can do for the same particular person. Now we'll go back and then run this particular model. I have submitted this particular job. Now let's monitor the job. So this is already got submitted. This will take a little bit of time as it is got queued. So we will wait for completion of this process. Once this completed, I will show you how we can able to view and monitor the results. Next, let us come to the next model in the meantime. So we have another model, say call create user and manage payroll. Correct. It is also having an entitlement, and when we see it, when we click on the more details, it is having an access point of create users. So let's see what privileges it is having it. It's having only the privilege of create users, and for manage payroll, same create payroll, quick pay, process, try retroactive changes are there. I am not submitting at this point of time because this is already I have submitted one of the model. Depend on my application performance, this will be get generated. So let us see whether this is get completed or not. Yeah. So this is got completed successfully. Okay, we had just submitted it, model analysis. Let's go and click on manage employee. Yeah, so if you see for this particular manage employee and manage payroll, around 5,000 records are there, which is giving you. So let's click on the result count. So these are my users, and these are my roles, which are giving me this particular conflicts and the privileges part. Alright, so this is what it is showing me, that these are the users or the roles which is having a conflicting role. So let us pick up this particular user called ABC. Let it filter with this. So this is the, if we want to see that what are the rules are available in an application. So this application implementation consultant role is given to this particular person. So this particular role is giving me the access for managing the employee. This is giving me the access to the managing the employee, and the access point is from where it is coming it. It is coming from the manage mask work update area. This is coming from manage mask work update area, and incident information is going to report it from the application implementation consultant. So this is the incident which is getting reported. In the same time, this person is having a human resource. From there, it is giving me the option for hiring an employee. So this is again a conflicting role which is get created, correct? And this privileges is known. And now this person is unknown also, because the from the global user definition, maybe this email is not defined, the email is duplicate, and the data source is coming as a part of my Oracle. So if you can see, for this particular user, we found this particular three access entitlements are there, which is clearly violating it. Okay, so now this is one of the issues we had identified it. How we can resolve it, how we can able to analyze this, I will show you after some time. Let us go back to our model definition back again. So when we run this model, this is we run it in the late today, so 5,000 records. We can go and export these results. We can go and export these results and see, once I run this particular process, when I run this particular model, now I can have the option to view the existing results. Directly we can go and view the existing results, and this will give me the values that what all who all employees are there who having a conflicting role. So this is what is a simple run, and now we'll go back to our model. What I will do, I will show you how to create our own custom model as well. We can go and run other model also. So let me go and create let me run this particular model as well. So we will go and analyze this. So this is a sensitive payroll privileges detail only. Let us click on the more details. What all rules or this having a particular information, what are the access points. So load benefit base, run a quick pay, payroll, and abscess, and different parties there. Let us submit this process as well. Monitor this particular job. Yeah, so let wait for some time. This will be get successfully get completed. Then we will see. So this is how what we have understand, that if the existing model, how we can import this model from the internal sources, how we can import it from the additional file if it is available. Once we import these models, how we can able to validate the results. I will show you in the upcoming in this chapter itself, that how we can able to validate it. Before that, I will show you how we can able to create the custom uh, models as well. Alright, so let's wait. So this is also get completed. We will go back to this particular model. So we found that 862 sensitive privileges are there. 866 privileges are there. Either we can view the result from here or directly from the result count. So these are the users. These are the users who are having this sensitive information, or the sensitive privileges are attached to them. And from which role it is coming it? It is coming from HR help desk, from the payroll administrator, from the payroll manager. So these are the user. Now we can export this file, and we can do the filter and every other thing. We have an option to export this into an Excel sheet. So when I click on this export, it will give submit a process for downloading it, and we can download this data in an Excel, and we can do the validation and send this file to our system administrator for clearing these, or auditors, they can identify that what all the sensitive information the user or employees are having it. So for now, what I will do now, let me show you how we can able to create our own custom models. Now let us show how we can able to create our own custom model based on different conditions, entitlement or the access point. I will come to my risk management. Under the risk management, we have to go to advanced control. Once we go to the advanced control, on the blue you will find the models. See, we have imported these many models, and one of the models we have renamed it as well. And these two models we have run it and view the results also, that how it is getting generated. So now to create a custom model, what we have to do is that we have to click on the action and create access model. There are the few things that we have to understand when we are creating any of these model. We have to work with the objects. We have to work with the access conditions. I will explain you what is access conditions. Access entitlement, which I have already mentioned that what we mean by access entitlement, and the access point. Now, access point in general, if we want to know in the terms of security, it's like my privilege or the functions that I am going to use within an application. Say, for example, I am having a privilege or a function for running the payroll, which is a calculate payroll. So for that particular, that is my access point, that I am giving access for a person to do certain tasks within an application. So that's called my access point. Entitlement is a group of access point. Like if I am giving a complete payroll module functions to for a person to do it, so entitlement is my group of access points. When it comes to the conditions, there are different conditions are there. We can import and we can add these model objects as well. So if you can see from here, we can import other models, as we can create an additional objects over there. So let me go and give the name of for this our model, then I will explain about this access condition part. Say I am creating this access model for manage users, payroll and employee. Let me find out all these three conditions. So for identifying on segregation of duty, for identifying okay, let's create it. So that I in the previous class I had mentioned it, that record limit, the configuration, if you can, if you just watch my previous video, which will give me the identification that why it is important to for the performance to limit the record for export. And if we want, we can override that limit. When I'm overriding that limit, it may impact our application performance. We'll keep it as a default for the understanding purpose. Now these are my different access models are there, that access entitlement name, access points, business unit, data model. These are the coming by default. Okay, we can use any of these conditions, any of these condition in our model for defining. If any additional available, we can go and import it from here. Say for example, these are the three models available which we have already imported in our model to be get created. Okay. Now, once we give the name and the description for our model, we have to come on this developing a model logic. So developing a model logic, what we have to do, we have to add up filters. Now, this is something which is the filters that we are going to use from these three objects only, from the condition, entitlement, and access point. So let us add one condition that I want to identify. Let us add one condition. So this is my condition 01 for users creation or access point having user role. Okay, so we will find out this user. I'm just giving you an example over here. I had written condition number 1. Now, as I mentioned, we can write our own multiple conditions are there. So for example, if I'm picking up one particular condition, what attributes you want to know? Like fine, I want a access point. I want a access point. I'm not looking for the entitlement. I'm looking for the access point of having a conditions equal to a value. You can search a value from here. Just put it a user of create user and filter it. Okay. So this is I am selecting it one condition. I say okay. So if you see, I have added one filter over here. I will add one more filter. Condition number 2 having access point having employee manage employee. So for example, manage employee. So again, I will choose this access point. Which object I want to choose it? I want to choose as a conditions. What entitlement I want to choose it? I am just clearing that access point and equals to manage employee. So from here we'll find manage employee, filter it. So this is manage employee privileges. Okay, I will add one more condition over here, add a filter over here where I will say condition access point equal to calculate payroll. Calculate payroll. So I had added the three condition. I can add further more condition if required. I can add a further more condition if it is required. So you will see, we'll just bring it over here. So this condition number 1, which having a user access. So I'll click on more detail. Condition number 2, who can able to have a access point of manage employee. And condition number 3, having a payroll access. Now, if I want, I will show you one more portion over here. Say I'm just condition number 4 for a particular business unit. For a particular business unit. So I will go and select the condition only. So for a particular business unit, say for example, we need to identify the person who is managing one particular business unit, say in US. So I can bring this condition as well. I can bring this condition as well. So I just want to pull out the data or I want to build up a model only for this particular business unit. That also I can do it. So these are my conditions that we can able to do it. You can try it from your side. But what I will do, I will show you the simplest one that I am managing three conditions or the three filter for our model. One more thing is that when we are creating these conditions, we need to have more than one conditions to be get applied for creating a model. Before without that, it will not going to work. I will just save this model. So yes, so maybe this one we need to modify. I will delete this because access point is required. I will add one filter. Condition for access point. Yes. So this access point is for the employee. Or manage employee. Simple is manage employment. We'll choose that one. Okay. So my model is get created. So this is my manage user, payroll and employee. This model I had created it. This is a model. These are the condition I had put it in our model. Access point control for these two conditions. So now to validate the record, we just run this particular model. Job is get submitted. Let's monitor this job. So it's in the queue. Let's see. Let's wait for a minute or two, so it will be get finished. So let us see if our process get completed. Which one? Yeah, this one we have created it. So process is now completed and the result is get generated. So let us view the results. Yeah, so these are the users. These are the users. Let me filter it on the user. Who all are? Yeah. So there are the 2 or 3 users. The 387 record are get created. And these are the users which are having these privileges of creating the users, creating the employee, managing the payroll. So if we can go and see, let's select this particular user. So this person is having a role of an employee. This person is having a privileges access point of managing the great users, and as well as this person is having an options definitely for calculating the payroll. So we had create our custom model, and let us see that how these, so if we want we can export it, like we can able to export this particular data and then we can give it to the auditors or the IT security manager to validate it. In this so this is how we can able to create our own custom entitlement or the custom model. Whatever the condition we can put it, we can use those model and see it and identify it if there is any role conflicts are there, or is there any segregation of duties issues are there, then we can able to rectify it. The another important portion that we should understand is the visualization, like how these rules or other things are getting generated. So what we will do, we will use our own custom models only, or we can use the standard one. Either way, let's go to the standard one itself. So when I'm going it over here, if I want, say for example, let's select this user Adam. I have selected this particular user Adam. Now we want to identify how and from where. So we will select all these rows. We will from your keyboard. What you have to do is that press the control button, and then from the mouse select all these rows. I have selected all these rows, and I want to see the visualization that how this person are getting or how these roles are got inherited. So on the top there is an icon called the visualization. Visualize these particular conditions. So when I click on the visualize, system will automatically generate the path that how these roles are getting created. So this is how the privileges, this is a privilege of rehire and this is a privilege of hire an employee is got attached to this person. So this is a path. Now I will go and track this particular path. So this is from the user point of view. This is a user called Adam. This person is having a 3 roles. So let me trace this particular path. So this role is HCM specialist view all. From this role, this is getting another role attached to it, which is human resource specialist, is getting a predefined role, and the predefined role is from the path we can able to see it. So if I can put a cursor over here, so the code, so the specific role what he is getting it, aura person, human resource specialist. If I go further drill down, if I want to find out that okay, this is a predefined role, which predefined role this person is getting it, it's got an employee hire. So we can see the complete path over here, that from where it is navigating it. Sorry, when it from where it is getting navigated. Let me select it again. I just selected it. So we have selected that particular path itself. So we can able to identify that these are the rules, these are the roles, these are the privileges, these are the, this is how system or giving the access for a particular person for hiring an employee. We just apply this path and see how many for that particular user, how many are being roles being assigned to it. So we can export this particular report as well, and we can share it our, I can export this particular data only, and I can share it with the IT system manager to modify it. So this is one of the great functionality. We can, if you want, we can see it furthermore. But you create your own model, you create your own existing model as well, and then you can able to identify and define it, that how these rules and the privileges are getting attached. So now on this topic, I hope it's make it more clear and sense how we can able to create the custom model, how we can able to use the standard models. If there are any conflicting rules are there, there are certain standard reports are also available. Those who wants to want a dump of this report, just put it in the comment section or give your email. I will share it with you. So this is the models which we are able to create it. In this we can able to export if we want to keep an export for any other. So suppose for example, if I created this particular model and I want to export it in some other environment, I can export it. I can save it wherever I want. So job is get submitted. So once we export, we can save it in our local machine. Global user configuration, I had already explained it to you. Entitlement, conditions, and user defined, we now know it. So here, what I will do, if any other topics are required, do let me know. And let's see what else is remaining in this particular module to cover. So we had covered about the models for the advanced control, how we can able to create it. Just to summarize it, we have to keep in mind that we have to import the existing model from the application if we want. Secondly, we can if we can import from our local machine if we have enabled the model somewhere else. We should know what are the entitlements are there, what are the access points are there, and what are the conditions are there. Once we able to define our own custom model, we can able to have to run those models to identify the conflicts. Once the conflicts is got identified, we can able to trace them using the visualization function. From the visualization function, we can reach out to any of the privilege and to just filter it out, that if we want to know that we have to remove these functions or we need to take some decisions on these filter, we can do that. Most of the things I had covered it. If let me know if some additional things are required to explain, put it in your put it in the comment section. And thank you again for watching my video and this series. I will request you, please do subscribe and like this video if you have liked the way I explained this particular module, and even press on the bell icon so that when I publish another new topic or another new concept on this, so you will get a notification. Thank you once again and have a nice and a wonderful day.